fun. I'm sat here, the sun is blazing outside, it's wonderful, and Amy's right next to me singing Christmas songs today. I keep telling you we have this thing about Christmas in our house, but yeah, singing Christmas songs today, not quite right somehow. However, let me just make sure. I need to push my mat up a little bit. Unfortunately, I've got short arms, so I might struggle today with this. Easier to move the mat than reposition the camera mount. Oh, Julie, hello Julie. You're on holiday, I guess, probably for a fortnight now, Julie. So lovely to see you here. Morning, Karen. Hope you're going to get lots of crafting done, Julie, or maybe gardening, or I don't know, if I was you, I might just sit and do nothing for a couple of weeks. Morning, Gail. Oh, Jenny as well. Hello, Jenny. So lovely that you could actually make it live today. I hope you're okay and enjoying the sunshine this morning. Hello, Eileen. Hello, Lynn. Gosh, everybody's quick off the mark today. I feel reasonably organised. I actually managed to drink my cup of coffee before we started today. I usually drink it at about 11 o'clock cold. Good morning, Christine. Hello. Oh, Dorothy's here. Dorothy's one of my friends from Scarborough. Hello, Dorothy. I'm waving to you. You can't see me waving, but I am. Hi, Julie. Amy is laughing like mad now. I'm just like, anyway.
You're just very enthusiastic today.
I'm very enthusiastic today. It's the sunshine. Anyway, this morning we are going to make a card that looks like this, and I don't know what to call it. Wendy asked me, hello Caroline, Wendy was asking me earlier this week whether I could give her instructions for it. She had a photograph of one, but she couldn't find a video or anything. I think I did one about this time last year, but at that time technology was far from my forte, and either the video didn't save or it was during the time it was very hot and the phone actually gave up the ghost. So this card here, again, it's one of those tricky ones to show on camera, but it opens and it has a Z fold inside it, so that looking from the top you can see that the topper on that section, the dress topper, comes through the aperture at the front. Now some of you I know will have made one of these before, but it's the sort of thing, I try to do a different design every week, and I have to really force myself then sometimes to actually look back at what I've done to do a card in the same style again, because we all forget, don't we, and we often go for easy options. So I got out my Craftwork Card Violet Tea collection for this, and put that together a couple of days ago just to show you the style that we're going to do today. So let me have a quick look, see who else has joined us. Diana, hi. Miriam, morning. Elizabeth. So today, I know I have been using Paper Boutique papers for the last kind of month as part of a stash busting exercise we've been doing on card group I'm part of, but today I'm sticking with Craftwork cards because I remembered I got Honeypot Lane, and I made a card which most of you will have seen earlier. I think I put it on yesterday on Facebook with Honeypot Lane, and I just love these images of shops or houses, little boutique, cafe, florist, and I just love those, so I thought I would do the card using the Honeypot Lane papers. And I meant to look earlier on the internet to see if Honeypot Lane was still available anywhere, and I forgot. However, the papers in Honeypot Lane, they were a wonderful quality paper. I don't know if it tells me what GSM they are, it doesn't on here, but the papers, oh gosh, they're just absolutely beautiful. Use them for a wide range of experiences. We've got perhaps gardening, we have shopping, birthdays, moving house, even cakes and pastries. Amy's just whispered in my ear, Honeypot Lane is still available on Craft Stash. Elizabeth will probably be looking for a link to it. Hello Geraldine. Hi Wendy. If you missed the very beginning, Wendy, we're making one of those cards that you were asking about. I think you've probably done yours by now. So Honeypot Lane came with a wonderful assortment of toppers and also some coordinating cardstock. So I'm going to use a bit of all of that today. And the only dies that we'll be using today are some of the Lisa Horton ones, and it's the nested, scalloped and plain circles that I will be using today. I know many of you will have those, but if you haven't, any nested circular dies will do. So let me get rid of the bits and pieces. Okay, so we're going to start off with two pieces of, or two blank cards. Hi Anita, I'm just checking who else is here. Caroline, I don't think I said hello to you earlier, Caroline. Sorry if I've missed anybody, but it's hard to actually read on the screen as well as do this. I'm using two 6x6 card blanks this morning for this, okay? Put one to one side. The other one, you want to score in the centre of it. With the scoreboard is easier. I have already done this, but you will score dead centre down, either the back or the front, it doesn't matter which, as long as one of the halves of your card blank you score down the centre. Okay, we are going to fold that, she says. So I've moved my mat slightly. I've now got one arm around the arm that the camera's attached to, so it's really weird. I feel like a bit of a contortionist. Okay, so you're going to fold that back, so you're left with a bit of a fold section. Then I am going to just literally cut down there with a knife. God, I've gone wonky. Never mind. Let's start again. Okay. Cut right down the very edge. I have got that so totally wrong this morning. I'm at the wrong angle to see as well because of the way I've moved the mat. Okay, that's better. Okay, as you know, there aren't mistakes. You can always make things right. Worst case scenario, I could have started with a new card blank and just used that as scrap, but we're good. Okay, so now we've got 3 panels on a Z shape. Okay, we will decorate them in a second. Your base card, I'm one for using paper, and on the card that I've already made I covered the front with paper. You don't have to cover it with paper, you could stamp on it, you could stencil, you could just leave it white, but I like, I'm using the paper up. Okay, and you're going to cover the front, or this is the way I do it, cover the front with one of your chosen papers. And yes, this is what I did earlier comes in. I've got loads of little bits and pieces this morning. So what you will end up with is the front of your card covered in a piece of paper. Okay, then you need to cut an aperture. Now if you haven't got dies, it doesn't matter. We have got somebody was asking the other day about making cards because she didn't have a lot of dies. You don't need necessarily dies. When I first started doing this type of thing, you can choose something like a cup, a small plate, a reel of sellotape, something like that, and use that to draw a circle and cut it out with your craft knife. You could just use a ruler and do a square aperture, but obviously for those of us that have them, a die makes the job easy. So I have used one of the Lisa Horton, what was it called, plain circles to cut that out. It is stitched around the edges though. Okay, so I've cut that out. I will keep that. I don't need it for this card, but I will keep it and put it on another card at some point. Okay, so I've now got a really nice clean aperture in the front of there. Okay. You need to make the inside panel next, or you need to decorate it. Now when you're putting this together, you've got your piece of card with your 3 folds. You need it so that it's like a backwards Z. So you're actually going to put it on the back so that you've got your fold on the inside first and then a fold on the outside. That will give you the mechanism to force the topper through the aperture. Okay, and the trickiest bit for me was decorating those inside panels, because I was so fussy about which piece of paper goes where, what looks right, what matches and what doesn't match. So I have cut myself from the Honey Pot Lane a number of different pieces of paper, and this morning I went through and labelled each one in terms of where I was going to put it. So this one says inside Z fold back. I think that's the last piece that I'm using. Inside Z fold back. That's the front. Okay, let's start here. Back left. Because I'm not one for wasting paper, I have measured exactly halfway on there. Okay, and I am going to glue that piece of paper on there. When I put my mechanism on there, I quite like to match it up. So my cutting and measuring has had to be really quite precise today so that it all matches up. Okay, and it looks like one piece of paper. I could have used one piece, but with the bend, the fold or the bend there, it tended to crease the wrong way or become a bit bulky and cumbersome, so this is the way I do it. Now my pieces of paper might be just slightly longer than the card blank, so I might need to do a little bit of trimming. Now, I've got quite a lot to do on here today, so I might struggle to read all your comments as I go along. So that piece is going down there. The piece I've got, no, that's going to be blank because you're gluing that on top of there. But the piece I've got back right to go on there is the gardening, or the one with the plants and the flowers on. Amy's come to have a look at the notifications for me. She's got very good hearing as Amy. Although she was only next door to me, she would have heard me at the other side of the house. Okay. She's reading.
Oh,
Definitely.
Geraldine Entwistle made her daughter's birthday card last year.
Oh,
Video.
wow, how wonderful.
Great for new home cards. That must be that collection.
Yeah, it is very good for new home cards, which people often struggle with. Ah, yeah, no.
Hello.
That's to you, Gail. Hello, Karen. Where was that? I would call a collection something that includes stamps and dies too. Ooh. Oh, I stand corrected, Miss Hugo. My collection is just papers and toppers. I rarely get the stamps that go with things. You know me, I'm not a big stamper. Okay. As I go along, I am going to trim off the excess. It's always hard, isn't it? Unless you're matting and layering and leaving a border, it's difficult to measure and get your paper exactly the right size. And so a good knife or a good sharp blade in your knife. Amy's laughing again. God, I'm glad I can amuse my daughter. Okay, starting to take shape a little bit. On this inside panel, I'm going to put the other houses. Okay. I mean, this sort of design, I know I'm sort of, well, labouring the point, sort of putting papers on every little bit of the card, but I think it suits it. But equally as nice, although I haven't done one, would be, as I said before, stamping, stenciling. In fact, I might set myself a challenge to actually make one of these cards and not cover it in paper. See what I can come up with. Okay, that is just ever so slightly proud on there, so again I need to cut down there. Now I am still using collal glue for this, which does take a little bit of time to dry. However, I am firmly holding the card down and in place so that the paper doesn't move as I'm trimming the edges. Okay, there we go. Right, we are making progress. I've chosen the spotted card to go on this section, which is, some of it will be visible from the front of the card. So I didn't want something overly patterned to detract from what I'm actually going to put on the front. Okay, so I think I'll pop it on that way so that we get both some of the pink and the green showing on there. Okay, just line that up on there. I think I've cut this piece perfectly in terms of length. So I hope you've all got as much sunshine today as I have here. It was nice yesterday as well, actually, wasn't it? But I am informed by Amy, according to her weather forecast app, that next Monday it is going to snow. So let's wait and see on that one. Now, when your card is put together and it opens, I'm going to cover that side as well. There will be a blank on that inside flap, but I'm not going to cover that because I don't think that's ever going to be seen. So I always used to glue the paper and stick it on the card, but obviously when my paper isn't cut exactly to size, then I need to glue the card, not the paper. You learn all sorts of things when you're in a craft group or go to a workshop, because the first time I saw somebody actually gluing the card instead of the paper, I was horrified, but it works so well. God, Amy is making me laugh today. Mind you, I do often speak a load of rubbish, but let's cut that one down. Okay, so inside mechanism finished. Okay, I'm not going to glue that just yet because I want to work on the front of here. And for that I did say that there was coordinating cardstock that came with the honey pot lane. So I chose the yellow. I've got loads of different colours going on here today. I chose the yellow and used the largest scallop circular die from Lisa Horton to cut out the circle, and then I used, I think, the second circle down to cut that out. Okay, so I've got a nice circular frame that's going to go around my aperture. Again, I'm going to keep that and use it for another project at some point. I have what's going on? I have quite a collection of various circles that have been cut out along the way. Triangle in there. Yeah, just waiting to be used. So I need to set myself a little bit of a task there and get some used up. Because I've used the same dies on the card for making the aperture and making the frame, that is going to fit just perfectly on there. Okay, so using my Cosmic Shimmer glue, I am going to just carefully glue around here. I'm just looking, Geraldine, I'm so glad I bought these dies last week. However, I'm not sure which dies. I may have missed something in terms of which ones. It might be the circular scalloped ones you're referring to, I'm not sure, but anything you bought yourself last week will be wonderful. Okay, let's open that out. And I can see clearly where I'm going because I only get one chance at this, don't I, using Cosmic Shimmer glue. And that is going on there. Okay, just give it a bit of a quick press down. Okay, we are getting there. Okay. At this stage I am going to fasten the inside. Okay, so that is the shape that you need it to be, a backwards Z, so that your outside edges are both lined up. Okay, so let's glue the back of this. Okay, let's pop that on there. Get all my edges perfectly lined up and give it a good press down. So Gail, that's my mission, to try and use my extra bits. I know, I just like, you do something and put the bits to one side of your desk, or I do anyway, and like I've said, those circles have just piled up. So watch this space. I will have to have a think and see what I can come up with in terms of using lots of little bits and pieces up. Okay, Geraldine, you got the nesting circles, good choice, very good choice. Okay, there we've got the basic card. Next, for the topper, I have again used the coordinating cardstock, and I've used a random die to cut out that as a mat. I love the open scallop bit around the edges. And then I'm back on Lisa Horton, a slightly smaller circle, and on here I've put an extra bit of, yeah, I've used another circle, an extra bit of card, just to give it a right tiny little bit of lift. Okay, not as much as I'd use with the foam pads, but a little bit of lift. And then I used one of the toppers that came with the Honeypot Lane collection, and as I have been saying over the last few weeks, I've got really brave recently and actually die cut the topper. I just thought I'd mix and match all the different sort of edges of the circles up, so I can use that as a frame for something later if I like. So that's going on the scrap pile, and I've got a lovely display of what look like Swiss rolls on there. Yeah, so Swiss rolls baking. Bake Off tonight on television, I think. Something we tend to watch. So a little bit of glue on the back of there, onto the centre of that one, and again on the topper I've used another of my scrap circles, piece of card, slightly thicker, I'm not sure, it's more like chipboard, is that? On there, just to give it a little bit of definition. Okay, so glue the back of there. Great thing with circles when you actually put your topper on, as long as it's central, it doesn't have to be right way up or anything, does it? Okay, let's give that bit of a press down. Okay, we are doing well. I thought this would have taken me much longer to do. Box spares is overflowing. So I need to, what's I need to say? You don't own this set yet, you might have to change it. Gosh, we're always buying, aren't we? Okay, so probably the most technical bit is actually getting that in the right place. You will all find your own way of doing this, but if I place that centrally, right in the middle of my front aperture, I need a pencil. If I hold it in place on there, God, my arms are all over the place, okay, and turn it over and slide the front bit back a bit, I am just going to put a faint pencil line down about the middle. I know I could have taken it off and drawn down the middle, but this way I know that I'm not going to get the glue overflowing in the wrong place. So on here I'm going to use my Cosmic Shimmer glue. I'm going to open the card back up. I will only have glue on the right part, and I am going to, I need to see on top of this, might have to move it a little bit. It looks straight, it looks central, so I'm going to press that down on there. Okay. And when I open it up, there's no glue showing on the back, so nothing's going to stick in the wrong places. when I fold the card shut, looks like that, and then as it's opened from the front you can see that it comes through. Obviously I have chosen a circle for the topper that is slightly smaller than the aperture. I forgot to say that. You obviously want your topper circle to be smaller than your aperture, or else it will stick and get caught when it opens up, and you will be able to see, I hope, from the top the shape of the card. Now I haven't quite finished, because on the first card I did, I put flowers around the edges and a few sequins on it, but this paper's a little bit more fussy. I didn't think flowers were the right thing to put on foliage necessarily, so I ummed about it a bit, and I decided on some ribbon. Not exactly bows, but I think first time I used something like this was with Mrs. Cox. I know Gillian's not watching, but at one of her workshops, and I think we were using the Celebrations kit, and I hope I've cut these long enough. And I'm going to tie some bits of ribbon round. Now I have chosen, it's not a very good mauvey lilac colour, but that kind of coordinates with the middle layer of the mat. I have a very pale pink, it's organza ribbon that I'm using, and some pale green which coordinates with that in there. So I know you will all have loads of ribbon in your stash somewhere. And what I've done, because I want to tie a little bit of ribbon around here, I have made a really tiny little knife slit in the crease of there, and taken about a millimetre of card away. Okay, that will just allow me, she says, to ease. I'm going to be all fingers and thumbs now doing this. I've got it through. Ease the ribbon through, and then over on the front I am simply going to tie it in a knot and trim the ribbon down so that the tails aren't overlong. And then the one I did it, well, I'd normally do it on, would be a square card. Now I can always, the thing with this is if it doesn't look right, I can always just get the scissors and cut the ribbon and take it off. But unless I go for the top, what I was aiming for was 2 on the outside edge. Now I've been a bit skimpy with the ribbon on this one. Let's see if I can get that through there. Okay, that's done. Yeah, I think it'll work. Okay, and my last one's going to go down here. What you don't want to do is put too much around the aperture in terms of decoration, so that it stops, it interferes with the movement of your topper coming through. Okay, can't tie this one. Oh god, fingers and thumbs. Okay, I think that'll work for me. I haven't used ribbon for ages, I don't think, in a card. Okay. Another quick hello, Betty. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay. So there we have my finished card. Ooh, I could just pull that down a little bit. A little dab of glue under the knot might just help secure it in place. But I think the ribbon, in terms of that, just finishes it off. It gives it a little bit of something extra without it being too fussy on the front, and it doesn't interfere at all with the opening of the card and the top coming through. So if I open it out and kind of lay it flat, you should be able to see what it looks like from the front when open, or you can see all the sides and the top of it. Okay, So it might seem a bit fiddly at first, and there's quite a bit of cutting and matting and just paper gluing today from my point of view, but you can make it easier for yourself, you can make it harder with loads of embellishments on, but essentially that is it. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but as always, I hope you've enjoyed watching that today. Thank you all for joining in this morning. Go and enjoy the sunshine now, but I do look forward obviously to seeing you and what you make with this sort of design today. So thanks very much. I should be here again same time, same place next week, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your crafting day. Okay, bye for now.